part of what's happened is because inflation's been high, people their emergency savings have kind of gone down, and the amount of debt people have, especially like credit card debt, has gone up, which is normal in a period of high inflation because especially middle and lower class people, they're running a position where they can't afford everything, right? Because prices are going up, so they're having to take, extra debt just to get by, right? It's a normal sort of situation, right? You'd think, but nope. The Ramsey crew here with Jade. Jade's going to explain what's really happening because she knows better than all. I want to remind everybody, this girl, Jade Warshaw, who's talking here, she has no financial background at all. She was a singer. Her and her husband were like on a band, and they did cruises, like yachts, and not like yachts, but like ship cruises that you go on for vacation. And they had a band, and they sung on cruises for like 16 years, and then she got recruited to do this for Dave. So that's her background in finance. Nothing. So, but she's going to explain it all to you because she knows.
There is an ugly storm brewing financially. There are some things going on in the world that is setting us up for some serious financial failure here. It says, as emergency savings drop and credit card debt rises, an ugly stew is brewing, warns an advocate. It says that as high inflation continues and interest rates go up, many people are seeing their savings dwindle and credit card balances increase. It also says as those debts become more expensive, delinquencies may be poised to increase. Not maybe, I'm telling you, they are on the rise. We can look and see that people are defaulting on their credit cards, defaulting on their car loans at higher rates than really like the Great Recession.
Yeah.
2008, 2009, that's where we're at right now.
So Jade Warshaw here on the right and John Delony on the left. Neither one any education or background in finance. Talking about this is just like the Great Recession.
Like, is it?
You mean when the housing market collapsed? And unemployment got up to what? God, it got over 10% for a while. That was bad. And the government had to throw billions at the banks to try and cover it up. And that was even a really slow recovery. And in fact, if we're going to compare it to the Great Recession, well, here's the big issue too with the previous video is, well, what was it that killed the recovery from the Great Recession? Workers were broke. It was hard for people to get back to work or do anything. It's hard when you're poor to do anything. You don't have any money.
Even things that are deemed necessary, you just can't necessarily do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard to do simple things like, you have to pay a parking ticket or you have to pay for, rent and you're barely scraping by. It puts a lot of stress on a person. But here's the thing. So once again, we're talking about this article that she's reading right now. Whenever these dipshits pull out an article, my advice is you look up the article because they never pull out an article that's longer than about 8 paragraphs. So you can read these in like 2 minutes. This is not like heavy work on my part. So let's see. Here's the article. Let me pull it over. I think this is it. Yep. She didn't actually cite it, but she did quote the ugly stew is brewing bit. That's how I found this. As emergency savings drop and credit card debt rises, an ugly stew is brewing. Okay, let's go through. So high inflation is leading to reduced savings and higher credit card debt. Already, she's wrong. The article's, the first sentence is it's the inflation that's causing this. Okay, they state that right out of the gate. She seems to think that this is a budgeting issue, and she'll double down on that pretty heavily here going forward. But that's what it is. The first sentence, which kills me. You didn't even read the first freaking sentence of the article that you're citing from CNBC. High inflation is leading to reduced savings and higher credit card debt. Okay, let's skip down. So this survey from Bankrate, it's not a great survey. It's only like 1,000 something people. But they did it. But they find 39% of individuals surveyed in January of 2023 here said their emergency savings are less than they were last year. Meanwhile, 10% still have no cash set aside. This is the same finding as last year's survey. So the amount of people who are having problems with their emergency savings and are increasing more debt is the same. It's the same number of people. The point of the argument is the amount is grown. That's why the survey, when they go through it, is when we look at it, what we're talking about is, well, okay, it's the same amount of people, right? That didn't change. So it's not like more people are spending or overspending.
It's those people having bigger problems.
Right. But the people that have problems already, their problems have been exacerbated. Is it because they're overspending more? No, it's because inflation has been really high. And so they've had to take out more debt just to sustain.
Super logical. So really, one can assume that the problem is literally the same, except for inflation. Everything else is the same.
Right.
So the amount, probably the amount of their debt increases is probably directly related to the amount of inflation increase.
Right. Yep, that's
right.
it.
Yep.
So, yeah, but it's not like more people are taking out more debt. It's just, yeah, so it has to be inflation, right? Now, let's watch her fuck this up. Let's watch them both screw it up because they're both idiots.
To this, you look at this data much closer than I do, and
yeah,
it says the survey was done in January.
Okay, there's not a survey. Oh, no, it was a survey. Sorry, it's not a study. It's a survey. My bad.
When I hear household debt is rising to unprecedented levels, and it was the greatest holiday season ever, that tells me that inflation's hurting families.
Yes.
But that these expenses, these extra debt, the debt accumulation across the board. Now, there's going to be individual families, people stuck in systems. I get that. But across the board, this tells me that people are propping up their lifestyle. They're not trying to buy eggs and bacon and rice. They are trying to keep their kids in all the travel sports and trying to keep their SUVs full, right? So they're trying to prop up a lifestyle with debt.
So this is, we just read the article.
Casting it straws, Duncan, straws.
Well, we just read the first couple paragraphs of the article. They said it's not that people are overspending because they want to buy SUVs and shit. No, it's because inflation. It is eggs and bacon and milk that's killing them. And then he goes, well, but
the eggs are like 30% more expensive than they were before.
Right, but it was a good shopping season for the holidays. So I'm assuming that people are just overspending. You got nothing.
I'm sorry, you want to say there's nothing going on with the eggs and bacon, but like I said, my eggs are about 30% more expensive, and that's a thing that's happening on a weekly basis. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
And that's all around America. The other thing too is it's their common thing. Once again, it can't be that there's a systemic problem that needs to be addressed. No, it's the individual's fault. It's the worker's fault. If you have debt, it can't be because inflation is high and is killing you. No, it's got to be because you bought an SUV. You're overspending. No, that's not what the data says. And you're sitting there, well, you spend all the time looking at the data, but she's agreeing with him. And it's bullshit. It's like, no. She should be saying, no, John, you're wrong. The problem is inflation. It's a serious issue. God damn.
Yeah, John, in my mind, there's two schools of people here. It's like you said, it's the folks who are truly, truly struggling. Like they can't buy groceries, right? And then there's the people who have just decided that this is a bandwagon thing. Like, oh, HELOCs are cool. I'll get one. I need a new kitchen. Oh, wait, we can, like, I'm just going to get the newest car. I need a Tesla. Yeah, sign me up for payments. There's the people who are just going along with whatever culture says, like, this is the life you need to live at any.
And none of that is in the article. And
she just went on her own random ass rant.
Right. And none of that isn't, there's no data that's suggesting that's what's happening. And this is after she just said, oh, yeah, I do pay attention to this data. I know a lot about it. You didn't even read the article. The first sentence of the article says it's inflation. It's not people overspending. There's no data to support that. And they've gone off on a completely different thing, completely different than the article.
Any cost, basically. And then when the default starts happening, when the market starts turning, when you realize you're upside down on your car, or you went crazy in 2020 and you're realizing you're upside down on your house, you're looking around trying to point the finger, but you can't because you chose to go along with this.
I wish people could hear our conversations. I've had conversation with Dave, and he said the words, I'm not spending that on that.
Yeah.
It's people of means have conversations and say, well, that's too much. I'm not going to pay that price for this. Or I called a guy who's going to do some work on my house yesterday and said, I can't afford this, but I can afford this.
See, I mean, now it's, oh God, let's skip ahead because this is just nuts. Are they just going to bitch about how much they pay for shit?
If you're not being a good steward, which is simply being a good manager of the money that's coming into
What was that?
Now they're going back to the Bible.
Oh, is that where the steward thing came from?
Yep.
There we go. What does Jesus say?
To your hands, yeah, you're going to spend too much of it. And then you're going to go, wait, what do I do? Oh, I know, credit card. You're going to make ends meet with a credit card. And then when that runs out, you're going to go to the next thing, right? And how many people do you know who their car breaks down? They don't have enough cash to get it fixed. So do you know what people do, John? They will go finance a new car because that's easy. It's just money exchanging. I'd rather go finance a new car than shell out $800 to get my car fixed.
Yeah. This is nuts. And see, the premise is debt is up because of inflation. It's the first line of the article that she's citing, the data she's citing. And they're on this completely different tangent about, no, it's your fault because you spent too much money. When the data they're citing says, no, it's because inflation's up. They can't even understand.
If their debt is up, they might be living beyond their means also. Mm-hmm. But the whole point in the article is it's the same people. These are not different people. There's not more of them. It's the exact same people. And their problem got bigger, not because they started behaving differently. They're behaving the same. Mm-hmm. They're overspending the same amount of stuff, but all that stuff is more expensive, so they have more debt. Like, this isn't rocket science here.
No, and it's basic. It's like if you have a heart attack and you go to your doctor and your doctor says, hey, you're overweight and your cholesterol's out of control. You need to eat better and get in shape. And you go, no, I had a heart attack because my kids are assholes and I'm under too much stress. No, it's because you're obese and you have too much cholesterol. No, it's my kid's fault.
Like, well, you can stop your bacon habit or get rid of your kids. I don't know what to tell you,
But that's what they're doing. I mean, they're ignoring the fact completely to try and they're just trying to shove and it's what they do all the time. And it's so funny to me. And we've talked about this. When we do these analysis, when you look at your finances or anything really, you have to follow the evidence to get to the conclusion, right? I don't go through my budget and go, man, I don't have enough money at the end of the month. Do you know what it is? It's magical gremlins that are stealing money from me.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I ate out every night 2 weeks straight. No relationship with it all. It's definitely the gremlin thing.
Yeah, it's not the necklace you bought for your mistress. No, that's not what killed you this month.
Damn, Duncan, is that what you're doing for your mistress?
No. Well, yeah.
yeah, but you got it at Claire's. It wasn't real diamond.
No, but I see people.
I'm sorry.
No, but I've seen people do that where it's like, okay, I can't figure out why I'm, I can't meet my budget, and they're making good money, right? And you're like, okay, well, you remodeled your kitchen. You bought a new stove, a new fridge, a new microwave, and that was $30,000. Okay, it's an investment in your house. But then they're like, yeah, but I cut Hulu and Netflix. I'm like, okay, so that's $30 a month. But that's not where your budget problem is. Your budget problem was the $30,000 of fucking new appliances you bought. Right? That's why you're behind. It's not the 20 or $30 you spend on streaming services. Right? But people sometimes there's a cognitive dissonance there where it's like, I don't understand. It's like, well, you didn't really need to remodel your kitchen, but you did. That's where the problem is. It's not, it's not your kid's braces. I'm telling you right now. It's so, but that's what they're doing, man. They're bitching about, well, you bought the car and all this shit, and it's like, no. The problem is these people are barely getting by as it was, and inflation is now squeezing them tighter. That's it. Simple article. They can't even understand it. But yep, that's how you become a financial expert on the Dave Ramsey Show. No, absolutely nothing.
Wow.
It still kills me.
I think it's like pass an audition thing.
It still kills me. She couldn't even read the first sentence of the article. Well, anyway, I think, wow, we've been...